What's up, everybody? Bleed the way here. Recently started getting into FPV. It's fun, a lot of fun. Flying mini quads, 5-inch mini quads in particular, and tiny ultra micro quads, like tiny whoops. Those are fun. It's kind of what I started with, but started with one of those. I would say around December, January. Tiny whoop, flew that for a couple months, had a lot of fun. Ended up getting a 5-inch Eachine Falcon 250. It just was handed to me by a coworker. It was very old, pretty beat up. Got about 3 flights out of it before it started falling from the sky, and then I built my own. Basically, I'm sure many of you have heard of Joshua Bardwell. I like watching a lot of Joshua Bardwell. He's a very, very intelligent individual when it comes to drone flying, and I'm sure in many other aspects of life. It's taught me a lot about setting things up. Basically, wouldn't have been able to do or make my drone without watching a lot of Joshua's videos. Anyway, Joshua's doing a 3 packs a day challenge. I want to do the same thing too. I'm not good at flying drones. I haven't been flying for a long time. I have a timer on my T16. A lot of information from Joshua as well about setting up various things, but I set up a timer on there to track just how much flight time I've gotten on my custom built quad. Aside from maybe a week or two of a couple batteries every couple of days, maybe I've gotten an hour's worth of flying time. I'm sure in total it's probably about 4 to 5. But as for right now, I'm just going to count it as an hour for my start. I'm going to try to do a couple packs a day challenge as much as I can. I want to get better. I'm going to try to post a video as much as possible, close to every day if I can. And yeah, that's about it. I think that's about all I'm going to do for an introduction. I mean, there's nothing else crazy. I will probably go over the quad that I built and the parts. I might put that after the end. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I hope I get better. I hope I learn some stuff along the way. I hope I provide some entertainment for people. And let's get to it. Yeah. So I think I've recorded this voiceover a couple times now because I tend to ramble. And I'm going to try to not ramble as much this time. But ultimately the purpose of this challenge is really for me just to document my ability flying and my progression of my flying skill. I would like to get really good at flying FPV. I would love to get some really cool videos. Just some awesome shots. It honestly would be really fun to do, to be able to do it well enough to make some money on the side. I do have a full-time job, so this 3-pack a day challenge might be kind of tricky here and there. For example, even right here on this flight of mine, this is my first flight. I'm flying on my lunch break. So, and as you can see, I'm not a complete noob when it comes to flying. I know how to fly. I have some history in flying some older helicopters and single rotor and dual rotor kind of rotating helicopters like the Blade MSR MCX for tiny ones. I do have a Blade 400. I don't have a lot of flight time on that. I did not get as big into the hobby then, although I wanted to. A big part of it was because I wasn't as good at flying. And when you crash those, there's a lot of stuff to repair. And I was young, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was always too timid to really fly and get used to it and go all out. And now I don't really have more money, but these are a little more durable. I have a little more experience. I can fly in a simulator. So I really want to get better at this. But anyway, this quad and this first flight, let's talk about that. It's more so me just kind of, these first flights really will be more so me just trying to get used to my quad, the power, the throttle, trying to go through and play with some rates. I haven't really played with rates or anything. I haven't adjusted PIDs. I'm not going to worry about that for a while at least. Just kind of getting used to it. Getting used to how it feels, how I can corner, how I can turn, trying to get my rolls snappy back to, horizon center or at the angle that I want it to be. Working on maneuvers such as power loops, trying to work on some dives a little bit and figure it out. Also need a better place to fly because there's people around a lot, and I try to stay within this little boundary and not really go high up if there's people or anywhere near them. They're usually on this little walkway and they're not underneath me, and yeah, I just have to do what I can do with and be as safe as possible. So but yeah, these first couple packs, I did fly 3 this day. I'm only going to show 2 of the packs. This first one is a little more just kind of casual, not really doing a lot, just playing around, getting used to it, warming up. And unfortunately, I forgot to record on the GoPro on the second pack, so I just have the third pack that I flew as well, and that one's a little more fast-paced. One's coming up here in just a minute too. So the quad that I'm flying is a custom-built quad. I didn't get some things I wanted. I did definitely get some things I wanted. Some of it was out of stock. Wasn't that big of a deal. I actually think I did better in the long run with some of the changes I made. But it's a Source 1 frame. And I was originally... The funny thing was I have a subscription to Quadbox. I recently started that after starting all of my adventures into this and starting with the Tiny Whoop on around January of this year. And I got a Source 1 frame for this quad, and then the very next quad box I received came with the CL1 frame that I was originally planning on getting anyway. They were just out of stock. So, whatever, it works. I have a Runcam Micro Swift 3. That was also one of the things I got in the quad box. A Race Day Quads Mach 3 VTX. I'm using a Foxeer Lollipop antenna. And as far as the flight controller and motors, I originally wanted to get 4 Hypertrain blasters. I was really enticed by the Break It and the cheaper replacement for it, especially trying to learn to fly and potentially going to be crashing a lot and maybe at high speed and banging the crap out of some motors. But I ended up getting the Emaxx Eco Series motors, the 2207, 2400 kV motors, and they seem to perform really well. I mean, that's what I'm flying currently, and it seems great. It has some power, it has control. I'm not very experienced, so I only know so much, but from what I can tell from the old quad I flew, these are great. And they were like $12 a motor, so I saved quite a bit there. I am running a Mamba F722S Pro stack with the 60 amp 4-in-1 ESC. Big reasoning behind that was largely just because I wanted to have the ability to upgrade in the future if I wanted to. If I wanted better motors, bigger motors, I wanted the ability to go to 6S. I don't want to be stuck at just 4S if I wanted to move up. I haven't tried 6S yet, but I'm definitely interested. I think I got a lot more to do in my precision on my flying first before I start to get to 6S. And that thing's great. I like it so far. I've already kind of messed it up trying to troubleshoot my receiver, which is a Spektrum 4651T. It's an SRXL2 receiver, and I don't know a lot about it. I actually had a lot of issues with it originally with my original transmitter. It was a DX6i transmitter. It was a really old one too. I don't even think it was the DSMX version. I think it was DSM2. And it would bind, and I could control the quad, and I set it up in beta flight and everything okay. It just didn't stay connected. It would drop from 5 feet away to being 300 feet away, like at the end of this field behind these larger trees. That's how I found out. Just disconnected and dropped to the ground, couldn't rearm, couldn't do anything. Ultimately, I ended up not resolving it with the DX6i transmitter, but I ended up getting a Jumper T16, which I absolutely love. It's really convenient to have just one transmitter to fly everything that I have. Granted, pretty much everything I have is mostly Spektrum anyway, but it's awesome. I definitely want to look at other receivers and other protocols as well. But yeah, I love that thing. Other, I guess, little side note before the end of the video here is just that I'm just going to try to be doing this as quick as possible. Some of the production value on these might be kind of low. I want to definitely make some videos with music. I've got to find music that I'm not going to get copyright dinged or anything like that on. I'm recording audio on my phone and just using GoPros and the phone cameras and what I have available to me. So if any of you have made it this far, I appreciate it so much. I really do. Subscribing, liking, following, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff that helps the YouTube algorithm is awesome and appreciated. So other than that, I hope to be doing this again and doing it tomorrow, and I will see you guys soon.